The Deion Sanders era at Jackson State is over. It is done with, and it's time to move on up to the University of Colorado, because $300,000 a year ain't $5 million a year. And for a lot of people, that is, about a 1,667% increase. It's hard to turn down. But now, what if I was to give you a job offer and that was your increase? There's only one problem. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I actually don't have the funds to pay you the money, but I did offer you the job. The question is, would you take it, even though the money you're making right now is guaranteed? Well, that is exactly what Deion Sanders did. You see, the athletic director at the University of Colorado doesn't have the money. And if you don't believe me, let's go over to the Fumble YouTube channel and check this story out.
The Buffalo's contract with Deion Sanders is for 5 years, $29.5 million. Primetime is set to make $5.5 million in 1 year and will earn $200,000 in raises each year over the life of the contract. $200,000 in raises per year. If you are not in the workforce yet, you might not get it, but trust me, getting a yearly raise at all, especially one you don't have to beg and plead for, sounds like melodies from heaven. But there is a catch. CU's athletic director, Rick George, says when it comes to actually having the funds to make Sanders the highest paid coach in the history of the school, they ain't got it.
We don't have the money yet, but I know we'll have it. So I'm not worried about that piece. The support that we got from our regents, our presidents and chancellors to be able to pay him what we think we needed to pay him, and his assistants to get him the kind of staff he needs. But, I've said this before, that this is the time for us to put all the chips in the center, and it's time for us to make a significant commitment to athletics in this football program.
Rick George went on to say they are going to rely heavily on boosters to make sure the school can pay Sanders, but all I can hear in my head is Rihanna. Bitch better have my money. Assuming they do, I for one say congratulations to Deion Sanders.
So guys, that is Rick George, who is the current athletic director of the University of Colorado. Now, he offered Deion Sanders this contract. It's $29 million over 5 years with a $200,000 raise every year. Doesn't have the money. But look at what he said. I'm not worried about that because I can get the money from our regents, from our donor list. Just bringing Deion Sanders here, we will have the money to fund this program. Let me kind of make it clear for those of you who want me to say it again. Let's make it more racialized. The white base will pay for us to bring this black coach in and to finance everything that he has or that he will bring to us, because what? It's an investment. It's an investment. And you don't think that they're getting something great? Let me let you listen into this particular clip. It's a Pac-12 podcast, right? And look at the people that Deion Sanders is already going after in the portal, and people that are looking to come to the program. Let's listen.
Whoever you think you have on your team coming to your program in the future from the high school ranks, on your team now or on your transfer portal radar, Deion's going to come for him too. Because Coach Prime is going about this recruiting process and transfer portal process with the players he's offering in a way that I think speaks very directly to his mindset. And that is a mindset of aggression, attacking, and I don't care if you say no. And I'm going to make you say no because I am Coach Prime and this is the way things are. You will listen to what I have to say because I am Coach Prime. You might end up telling me no, but that's not going to stop me from trying. That's where his head seems to be at. And I will tell you why. Also, later in the show, we'll talk about DJ Uiagalelei, a couple Pac-12 options there, and then the all-conference teams came out as well. But there have been rumors, speculation, reports, whatever you want to call them, with regards to how much interest Colorado is getting with Coach Prime at the helm, how many players, how highly rated these players are, who they are, and whatnot. There are a lot of names out there. Now, I believe they've offered Dorian Singer, the wide receiver from Arizona. And that's a little bit telling because that's a target that if he's able to land will speak to how great he can make this Colorado roster, how successful he can be on that front if Dorian Singer ends up choosing Colorado. Because Dorian Singer is a part of an offense at Arizona that was really successful this year. They won 5 games. They won 1 the year before. If I'm Singer, I don't know if he would want to go to a place that, I'm like on the surface. If Dorian Singer was a second-team All-Pac-12 performer this year, if he ends up choosing Colorado, a team that just went 1-11, he would have been on a part of 2 programs that were 1 season removed from going 1-11. And I don't think, generally speaking, that's what players are looking for in the portal when they're in a position as Singer is in, where he can attract offers from Oregon, from, I'm sure USC would be interested. I'm sure he could even find room in Washington's talented receiving corps. There are a lot of places he could go. He is a really good player, really balanced wide receiver, lethal from the slot, great speed, good hands, good size. He can have a lot of options, but if he chooses Colorado, if he were to end up there, that would be so telling about how people truly feel about Coach Prime. Because on the outset, right, outside looking in, there's no real reason for him to go there except for Coach Prime. And if you can acquire that sort of player this quickly, rest of the Pac-12 has to be on notice.
So also, as you see, the Pac-12 is also excited about him coming there. They're going to negotiate TV rights. The whole conference is going to benefit from going there. But the difference is, one, other groups are more interested in investing into their community to see what they want to see. Because when it comes to black people, one thing I can say about blacks, I'm not worried about the money. The money's there. But see, I have a different mindset towards the black community. Many of you guys don't. When people used to always ask me about the future of the black manosphere community or black men's or the black males economy or black males content, why I didn't switch over to the mainstream manosphere, or why I wouldn't leave the pro-black space because I'm in both communities and I intertwine both of them in my content. What did I say? I'm not worried about no money. The base support what we do is already there. All we have to do is get value for the money, right? But this guy knows that people are going to spend the money no matter how much it is because they'll give. That's the problem with Jackson State, though. We have the money, but we won't give. For certain, can you depend on a black basis to support you? Hey, listen, we need $30 million from the black community to keep Deion. You won't get it, although we can get it because the money is there. That's the difference. And the difference is ownership. White people, Asian people, the European Jewish people, they have a mindset of ownership, and we got to keep these talented people in our community. And a lot of times the blacks, we don't think like that. Oh, let them go then. We're not going to spend the money to keep them. We get somebody else. And then when you do, then you start complaining about it. See, if we're not willing to invest in our people or in our talent, we need to sit down. The men don't want to invest in the women. The women don't want to invest in the men. What are you going to have? And I got a video on that. A lot of the brothers don't want to invest in some of the sisters. And you're going to find out that some of the points are going to be obvious. When you don't have any investment, nobody's going to stay. You're not going to get good facilities. You're not going to get good staff, good coaches, if you don't invest and spend the money. And you got to have that base. Like, look at Martin Luther King back in the day in the civil rights movement. A lot of the money was coming from A.G. Gaston. Some of the other brothers, Sidney Poitier, okay? A lot of that money was coming from people like that. Harry Belafonte. At that point in civil rights, we had less money than we do now, but we had a base that would give us money when we needed to fulfill our progress, to bail folk out of jail. You won't get it now. That's what the difference. Back then, we had Mr. Johnson over at Ebony. See, we don't have those people anymore. That's why the mindset, we don't have a black business mind. We don't have a black owned mind anymore. And that's why their people always beat us. And until we think like that, so you know what? We don't have the money, but we got an investment here. Let's go get the money. we're always going to have a problem. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you want, all that you do. We're out. Peace.